Hey guys, so it's been at least a year since I saw Dexter New Blood. It came out in 2022 or 2021. I'm not really sure. Post-pandemic, everything's just been a blur. I should warn you that I'm going to be getting into spoilers for essentially the first 8 seasons of Dexter. I'm not going to spoil anything for New Blood, but if you haven't seen the first 8 seasons, I'd recommend tiptoeing out and watching it. Anyway, that's going to be the first half of my video. Let's dive right in. Dexter Season 1 was really cool, really intriguing. Season 2 really ups the ante because Dexter is very close to getting caught the entire time. I know Season 3, a lot of people thought that it was a little bit slower because Dexter's not just like killing people with the frequency he did in the first 2, but I kind of like that. I like the idea that they did something different where it's like he finds somebody that he figures could be his friend and he could almost sort of like mentor, and then it turns out like, oh shit, I can't control this guy, and he's just a nut bar. Season 4 of Dexter was, in my opinion, the magnum opus. Nobody can beat John Lithgow's Trinity Killer and how he can go from just like family man, Harry and the Hendersons, all-American dad, to psychopath at the drop of a hat. I mean, it was just such a nuanced, perfect performance. The ending with Rita and Harrison sitting in a pool of her blood, just like Dexter. But I mean, I remember when it premiered on Showtime, and I was actually like, whoa, I was like, no, this is a dream sequence, right? This isn't real, right? And then it ends, and I'm like, fuck. The show has not been that good ever since, including Dexter New Blood. Season 5, they start to get sloppy. Like when that guy basically says to him, like, no offense, but your dead wife can, you know, and then Dexter kills him with like, one of those like 3-pronged things that you get for the garden. When I saw that, I was kind of thinking to myself, I'm like, oh, this is where Dexter goes off the rails. He just turns into a psychopath this season, and this is how he's going to get caught. I thought that everything was going to unfold in Dexter Season 5. Deb was going to find out. I thought that Dexter was going to abandon Harry's rules and just basically go on a killing spree. He just goes nuts because Rita died and she was his only like grounding force or whatnot. I was mistaken. They just don't do anything with that. It's like, Dexter, you left evidence behind. You completely ignored your dad. They don't go back to that. And even in Season 6, which I thought was a little better than Season 5, Colin Hanks was a good creep. He kills a dude with like a spear. No plastic, no covering his tracks, fingerprints on the freaking thing. And they don't go back to that. They started like dumbing down the plot line. And then it's like in Season 6, thank God it was brief, but they introduced this thing where like Deb started to become attracted to Dexter. What are we doing here? Like, this is gross and uncomfortable and not in a cool Dexter way. Like, I don't like this. This is entering like soap opera territory. Season 7, in my opinion, was arguably probably the best season after Season 4, all right? It ends with Deb basically making a choice. LaGuerta found Dexter out, and Deb chooses, she shoots LaGuerta. So now Deb is implicated in this whole thing. And it led up to what could have been a really great final season. Personally, I think that Season 5 should have been the end. They should have tightened it up, Breaking Bad style. They should have had it go that one step above Season 4, but instead it's almost kind of like it just meandered for like several seasons, you know? Anyways, Season 8, Deb's in on this now too, and she's being affected by the whole thing. Fogel was a really cool character, and I mean, I don't know how like based on the books this show was, but they wasted an opportunity with Fogel, in my opinion, because she was there at the beginning, she helped write the code with Harry, and she's rehabilitated a bunch of other serial killers Dexter style. Now think about that. Think about what a cool final villain that would have been, where Dexter basically has to go through like 10 serial killers just to get to her. I mean, they could have done that and it would have been awesome. But again, it was just uninteresting villains, and it just kind of meandered and fizzled out. And they didn't even have the balls to kill him. Even if they had killed him in that scene where he drives off into the hurricane, it still would have been underwhelming. But then it's just like, oh, he's in Alaska now. It's like, what? Very frustrating. The show started out so strong, so promising, and it ended on such a fucking weak note. I do feel that we were owed another season. Dexter New Blood, it by no means is a masterpiece, but it's cool because it's several years later, a lot's changed, it's a new atmosphere, and Harrison finds his dad, tracks him down. I mean, they kind of allude to this in the first 8 seasons, that Harrison has some of those tendencies. So Dexter starts training him, essentially, on the code. I found myself almost sort of like admiring the father-son bonding time. It's like, oh, this is great. Dexter's spending time. And I'm like, whoa, wait, I'm messed up. No, this is horrible. This guy is teaching his son how to murder people and not get caught. And I like that. I like that screw with your morals dynamic. There are other characters from the show who make appearances, but it's not to the point where they rely on it. But it's still a nice little like, oh, hey, I remember him. Clancy Brown is the bad guy in it. And I love Clancy Brown. As an actual villain on Dexter, he was fine. What he does and how he presents it is really cool, but the actual character itself doesn't have that much to do, but I wouldn't blame that on Clancy Brown. It's just the way the character is written. And that's not to say that it's bad. It's just, you know, again, like the Trinity Killer. I mean, come on. You're not going to beat that. I don't care how awesome the actor is. And the show has a sense of finality, okay? It has some balls where season 8 didn't. Is it a masterpiece? No. Did it change my life? No. Was it the epic ending that it could have been? No, but, you know, it's too late for that, honestly. You know, like after season 5, it was really too late for that. But it did kind of come across as though Showtime was sort of, it was like an apology to the fans. Like, here, look, we're sorry. Here's an ending that's a little bit more digestible to you guys. I'm happy that they made it. I'm happy that the show ended, again, like with a little bit of balls and with a sense of like finality. It's still a very flawed show. Honest to godly, if you just wanted to end it at season 4 and just stop watching it there, like Supernatural, if you just wanted to stop at season 5, like you'd be all the better for it. But, you know, that's one man's opinion. All right, guys, if you like this video, you know, leave a like, subscribe. If you have a Rumble channel, check out my Rumble channel. And also, if you're watching this on Rumble and you have a YouTube channel, check it out there. And that's all she wrote.